Imagine waking up, finding guns bolted to your hands, and being forced to fight for your life. Meet Miles. Wait a second. Anyway, he's a bit of a nobody, and like the rest of us, wanted to be a hero when he grew up. Well, actually, these days I think most kids want to grow up to be TikTokers. Ugh, terrifying. Also like the rest of us, he spends most of his time hopping between the same 3 apps. What are your favorites? I like Discord, Reddit, and YouTube. Miles has the prestigious job of mobile game developer. That's right, his life's purpose is to help a company funnel money out of parents' pockets. Though, even when he's working, he's goofing off online. His favorite pastime is trolling. He's that guy in the comments riling people up. Don't be that guy. Suddenly, Miles gets shot in the face. His coworker, Hadley, has good intentions. He was just trying to warn Miles that his boss, Xander, was looming behind him. Due to being startled, he accidentally likes his ex's selfie on Instagram. Her name's Nova, by the way. Xander regretfully informs Miles that he's being let go.
I'm just with you.
Damn, what a jerk. Later on, and at his apartment, Miles stumbles upon Schism, the latest viral sensation to hit the web. What is Schism, you ask? Well, it's basically a live-action Call of Duty deathmatch. Criminals and oddballs are recruited and pitted against each other. Their battles take place across the city and are televised via drones and hijacked cameras. Miles joins one of the live streams and starts tippy-tapping away at his keyboard. His efforts do not go unanswered, and he's quickly inundated by loving and supporting comments from the Schism community. It's not long before he gets the attention of the admin. As we'll soon learn, he's not the kind of guy you want to provoke. He gets Miles' IP, and my boy is shook. He closes the laptop and tosses it away, but his panic is quickly dispelled after receiving a text from his ex, Nova. She noticed he was snooping on her Insta, but he takes advantage of the moment and invites her to meet up at the park. To his pleasant surprise, she accepts. We cut to them at the park where Nova, a comic book author, draws a temporary tattoo of one of her characters onto his arm. Then, she moves in for a kiss. Miles is rudely awakened from his dream, but the kind visitors quickly put him back to sleep. Later, Miles fades in and out of consciousness as the Schism squad operates on him. He awakens the next morning back in his room. Perhaps that too was a dream. Never mind. They turned my mans into Edward Gunhands. Miles gets a text officially welcoming him into Schism. Oh, and he gets his first opponent, Nyx. Meet Nyx. She's cute, kicks ass, and balls, and likes to eat salt through her nose? Whatever, to each his own, I guess. By the way, this was one of the coolest action scenes I've seen in a while. She claims another victory, continuing to dominate the leaderboards. We learned from a news broadcast that she was found criminally insane at the age of 13, and recently escaped from a high-security prison prior to joining Schism. Nyx is informed of her new opponent, Miles. Schism promises that this is her last one. If she succeeds, they'll totally wipe her criminal record. Nyx proceeds to don a disguise. Hey, that looks familiar.
Whoa.
With her stealthy new look, Nyx heads into a police station and remotely installs a tracker on Miles' phone. Meanwhile, Miles struggles to pee. It's hard enough as it is to keep your stream steady, but when you have guns for hands, it ups the stakes a bit. He's still got that date with Nova, so he gets dressed as best as he can. Hashtag outfit of the day. Alright, let's go. Attaboy. Oh geez, there's Nyx. So cute, but so terrifying. She blasts her way into the apartment and makes note of his figurine collection.
Nice fat cave.
With his life on the line, Miles makes one final request.
Shoot around the really rare stuff?
Then, he manages to pull together a distraction and jumps out the window. He then slides down the stairs and sticks the landing. All the meanwhile, over 300,000 people are already tuned in. Miles flees and runs into some police officers. Explaining this is going to be tricky. Things quickly escalate and he has no choice but to run. The cops make chase and one of them corners him before blasting him with a taser. Unfortunately for the cop, this causes Miles to involuntarily shoot him. He apologizes profusely before dashing out. Nyx is still hot on his trail. Finally, we're at the park. Miles quickly spots Nova, but she's already on her way out. No worries, he'll just hop right in. He commands her to drive off, but as she doesn't know what's up, she's just like, take a chill pill, my dude. Kinda hard to do when Nyx is pulling up with the bazooka, but okay, I'll try my best. He composes himself and the pair drives off. To the dismay of Richter, the head of Schism, Nyx turns the bazooka onto the drone. After driving off, Miles reveals the severity of his situation to Nova. She responds about as well as you'd expect. He runs off again before finding refuge in a clothesman. We cut to Richter and get a little taste of what kind of man he is when he harnesses his inner 50 Shades of Grey against an employee. Back to Miles, he slumps out the bin and now has a not-so-fresh pair of jeans. After failing to put them on, he briefly contemplates meeting God, but a funny hobo implores him to reconsider. You see, the angle's all wrong. If he shoots himself like that, then he's just gonna blow his face off and be even more sad. Meanwhile, Nova seeks the aid of the police, but one of them, Stanton, can't help but laugh as he watches the Schism broadcast. Kinda sus. Anyway, they promise to do their best, but after she walks out, Detective DeGraves decides they ought to hack her phone. He's hell-bent on capturing Nyx, and this just might be the way to do it. We then see him consult an evidence board where we see pictures of a family, a car accident, and Nyx. This too is sus. Back to Miles, we see that the hobo, who's named Glenjamin, has graciously helped him with his pants problem, and then even offered him a hot dog, though Miles is vegetarian. In response, Glenjamin passes on some words of wisdom.
And it's one thing to say you can't face violence, but when it faces you, you better be ready.
I like that. Miles channels his inner animal, then goes to town. After that delicious 8-month-old meal, he thanks Glenjamin, who then offers him a little dessert.
Want to smoke some crack?
No, I don't. Afterwards, he heads to his office and greets Hadley. Realizing he's likely being tracked, Miles seeks his assistance. Now, if you could just slip your hands down my pocket and retrieve my phone, that'd be great. Yeah, Hadley isn't game for that.
Stick your fingers in there, come on.
Oh, now it's a party? Upon scanning the phone, Hadley finds a GPS tracker. He installs an app that will allow Miles to toggle the tracker on and off. That should come in handy. Suddenly, boss man Xander pulls up. He digs into his case and again threatens to fire him. Miles storms off, but Xander isn't letting up. Finally, Miles realizes he's a man and takes control of the situation. Xander is reduced to whimpering, beta male, League of Legends player. It's just a joke. Miles apologizes and relief washes over Xander's face before Xander's brains wash over his. She's back. Miles takes cover and asks Hadley to cover him. As he runs off, the ever-loyal Hadley commits what can only be described as a war crime.
Mistakes were made.
This buys Miles enough time to hijack a car, but Nix is hot on his trail. A high-speed chase ensues while Hadley enjoys the show during a bathroom break. Nix catches up and somehow ends up on top of his car. This looks awfully dangerous. I hope they don't crash. Somehow, they survive this, and apparently, Nix is a Terminator. Also, someone busts into Hadley's stall and grabs him. Mid-poop, I presume. The chase continues on foot, and Miles heads into an abandoned building. He pops some pitiful shots off at Nix, prompting her to give him some tips on how to hold a gun. He returns the favor by shooting her, this time successfully. Some more running takes place while the pair trade shots. He manages to flank her, then fires at a machine, causing it to blow up. Nix cowers in fear as she relieves a traumatic event from her childhood. Miles spares her life and again runs off. He tries to hitch a ride, but waving around his gun kinda just scares people off. Whatever, their loss. He whips out his phone and calls Nova. She picks up and he finally gets a chance to explain to her that the guns are bolted onto him. Oh, okay, so you're not crazy. Suddenly, Nova is attacked and it's none other than Richter. He tells him he's got 5 hours to kill Nix, or else. Miles heads to a junkyard and turns his GPS tracker back on. He calls the cops and tells them that Nix will be at his location within 10 minutes. While he waits, he runs into a couple gangs doing business. Understandably, they're a bit sketched out about his guns, and things quickly escalate. As things are about to get deadly for Miles, Nix pulls up with a freaking minigun and makes things deadly for everybody. Miles gets away and even pulls off his first kill. Then, a SWAT team pulls up on him. He's detained, and the 2 cops from earlier decide that a hospital visit can wait. They still need him to catch Nix after all. Detective DeGraves reveals to Miles that 16 years ago, he captured Richter. Though, he quickly got out on bail and tracked down his family. While his wife and son perished, he managed to save his daughter, Nix. Whoa, I didn't see that coming. Meanwhile, Nova tries to intimidate Richter by mentioning the cops, but he counters, "Who do you think owns the cops?" Back in the car, Stanton has driven the trio to a remote location. DeGraves questions him, but he's quick to respond. Miles is dragged out of the car, but his life is spared. Instead, he's forced to watch a video that Richter recorded, reprimanding him for going to the cops. Though, he gives Miles another chance. He now has just 30 minutes to kill Nix, or Richter's gonna tear Nova apart. Stanton leaves, and Miles takes note of the detective's bulletproof vest.
That did not help much.
He then heads to a gaming cafe and has a girl help him get into Nova's account, so he can find her phone. Wait, I know you. You're the Guns Akimbo guy. Turns out, Miles has gone viral. But he ain't about that life. He heads out in search of Nova and finds her, along with the Schism Squad. Oh no! Oh, just Hadley, okay. Miles hatches a final plan and flips his GPS tracker back on. He waits Nix and then offers a truce.
You in?
No.
All the viewers rejoice as Miles finally gets iced. Though, some are sad. They've grown to like our quirky protagonist. Nova cries and Richter sends out a cleanup squad. While Miles' body is recovered, we notice his eyes just barely twitch. He's alive. He's transported to the Schism hideout and warmly greets his captors. He then runs into Nix, and turns out, this was the plan. We rewind back to find out what went down. Miles ended up heading back to where her father died, and revealed to her that he knew what happened to her family. That's right, Nix. It was Richter all along. He recruited her into Schism after she broke out of prison because he was afraid of her. He knew she wanted revenge, and it was only a matter of time before she learned who was behind the attack. Miles also breaks the grim news. Her dad is dead, and it too was due to Richter. After that, she needed no more convincing. Nix helped Miles put on her father's bulletproof vest, and the rest is history, or I guess the future. Back to the present, Miles and Nix take their gamer fuel and storm in. A 360 bullet storm commences as they lay waste to all the henchmen. And yes, the viewers are still tuned in. Richter is in shambles, so he sends off his best henchman, Effie and Dane. Meanwhile, Nick shoots these guys in their happy spots. The pair then find one of the henchmen on a computer, wiping away files. He has something deadly in store for them. A spork. Upon inspecting the computer, we find that Schism has plans to go worldwide. Miles then stares down one of the cameras and speaks directly to the millions watching. You guys are sick, degenerate, losers. The audience laughs at him. Who the hell is this guy? Then, we see that even Glenjamin is watching.
Wish you had more volume.
Ha, oh Glenjamin. Effie arrives on the scene and Nix compliments her guns. Then, she starts blasting. The pair gets split up when Miles is blasted in the chest and Nix is kicked down a flight of stairs by Dane. Their battle quickly turns gruesome and Nix loses her favorite fingers. If you know what I mean. Dane proceeds to beat her to a pulp with a
Stop! Hammer time!
At the same time, Miles is trapped by Effie, though he manages to slip in a sneaky headshot. Back to Nix, luck strikes when a baggie of her gamer fuel falls out. She eats it with her nose and levels up. Now, Dane is no match for her. Nix realigns his chakras, then busts his balls. Fine, I'll just blow the both of us up. Damn, of all the times to stop working. Suddenly, Miles arrives to rescue Nix. Fortunately, they survive and continue onwards. Meanwhile, Richter is making his way to the rooftop with Nova to escape via helicopter. Quick on her feet, Nova scribbles the word roof onto the wall, while Richter fires another one of his employees. Back to our dynamic duo, Miles and Nix have perhaps bitten off more than they can chew. With the odds against them, Nix decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. Kill Richter for me, will ya? She goes on a death-defying, guns-blazing run before blowing herself up. You will be missed, gamer girl. Miles finds Nova's markings and makes it to the roof. Millions watch with bated breath as their now beloved protagonist has beaten the odds and finally faces the final boss. Okay, bit of a rough start, but I've always loved a comeback story. Miles rises and plods forward, eating shot after shot from Richter. I guess he turned God mode on. Nova comes through with an assist and Miles pistol whips the snot out of Richter. He throws him over the ledge, but he hangs on. Before delivering the final blow, Miles gives him a going away present. That spells the end for our eccentric villain. The audience celebrates, then Miles bleeds out while a terrified Nova scurries away. As the film concludes, we see that Miles has taken on Nix's role of killer badass. Now that Schism is spreading, he's got a lot of work to do.